trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
When things look bad, and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. That's just the way it is.
Your assignment tonight is strategic. You can't give the enemy a break. Send them to hell.
Yes, I'm muted again. We've got one team that haven't showed at all, from what I can see, and that is Team Omega. No Travelling TT, no Graceley, and no Mr. Fox. Nowhere to be seen. Excuse me. Nowhere to be seen. So you've got three teams. Sorry, a lovely bunch of coconuts. How many's there? You've got Bill, John Boo, and Vertical Liquid. So Bill's there, John Boo's there, and Vertical Liquid's there. So three teams have shown up, and the other team couldn't be bothered. I think that VP4 TV should be reinstated. That's what I think. But anyway, the rooms are up, so we're going to have what looks to be like. I'm surprised that nobody got in touch with any of that other team. And of course, according to Steve, he sent out a message last night. So either none of them are getting their emails forwarded or getting their messages forwarded to their emails, or they just couldn't be bothered. Which, to me, just makes a whole waste of the 13 weeks that they actually played in the league, where they couldn't be bothered to show up for the actual playoffs themselves. That's a bit disappointing. So, well, what will we go in? What one will we get into first? Well, there's no point in getting into any of the rooms where the other guys haven't shown. That's a bit pointless. So we'll get into Larry and Sergaresh. And Sergaresh getting the last two. Welcome everybody, whoever's there. Sergaresh misses a cut in the 4. And that is just in the pocket enough that Larry could nudge it. Well, this should be fairly straightforward to get the 6 ball. Hang on a wee minute. Hang on a sec. Now let me just. I'm just checking. I'm just checking something in my stream at the moment. Hang on. Be back in a sec. That's better. Got to get the right logo on the screen. So Larry up 1-0. Well, there's some crazy stuff from Larry last night in that Friday Night 9 ball. He had a fair few flukes last night, Larry. Well, I don't think there's none of that team showed up, unless somebody has suddenly appeared. But in the lineup with Mr. Fox and Grayslate and Travelling TT, there was none in the lobby before I came into this room. Now the question is, what happens with the fact that they haven't showed up at all? Is there any small print in the league rules for that? Do they still get a payout even though none of them have showed up? So Sergaresh just needs to get out onto this 8 ball. He's getting the last 2, so that's going to have to keep going. I think he's okay, and he certainly shouldn't be scratching. So all square. Let's have a look at the scores. If we can get this thing to scroll up quicker. Right. So all of those matches are all going to time out in about, a minute and a half's time. Meanwhile, we've got Bobby Barris up 1-0 against Christian. Christian getting the last two. Brainfill out 2-0 up against Bankster. Brainfill out getting the 7 ball. Now somebody in the VP4 lobby had contact details, whether it be on Facebook or whatever, for Mr. Fox. It's a bit pointless now, obviously. But even if one of them showed up, at least they've got a chance of winning a match. This 3 ball looks very tight to the rail from here. And that bump on the 7 ball comes in very handy. And, this is going to be Sergaresh getting into the lead. There's no way he can mess this up. So you actually played, you actually played Grace Slate and he's disappeared. So Sergaresh into the lead. And there's the first forfeit come through. And the next one will be very quickly following on after that one. Good afternoon to Hogg. Again, stunning him at that pace. I've got to go in clean. Well, Larry's got a problem. He can go over to the right hand side. It's a very, very... Well, he was trying to bump into something there, but he did have a possible combo. It was tight past the 9 ball with that 2 ball to get to the 7, but well, that's not really put Sergaresh under much pressure, that. Now I'd be trying to just spin down into the 7 ball or do that. And that's got Larry locked up. And there's the next result through. Mr. Fox is forfeited to John Boot. Well, Larry's got the hit. The 2's on. I'm surprised these results are taking so long. You know, the actual match results aren't just popping up one after the other. Because the rooms all went up at the same time. And there's the third one. Vertical Liquid has beaten Travelling TT by forfeit. So that's 3-0 to Lovely Bunch of Coconuts in that match. And this is going to be a short evening. And Bobby Barris 2-0 up. Brainfill Out's 2-1 up now. And Sergeresh is about to go 3-1 up. Now, well, this, at the end of the day, this all came about because Larry didn't play a great safety on that 2-ball. He didn't put any pressure on Sergeresh. You know, fair enough, Larry got the hit in the 2-ball, but that was his last shot in the rack. I wonder what those guys' excuses is going to be. Surely one of them at least, must have their messages advanced to their email. So Larry's up against it at the moment, trailing 3-1. And the table's sitting good to get back to within one. I think if I remember, Steve said he probably wouldn't be here or something last night. I can't remember. No sooner have I said the table looks straightforward enough. Larry's managed to rattle the 4 again. And, it's a 2-rack swing on that shot, because I don't think there's any way Sergeresh is going to fail in this either. The table's sitting perfect. Again, the only thing he must make sure is that he's got the angle in the 7-ball. He doesn't want anything straight. And what's he done? He's left it straight. He's going to have to pump this in. And now he's got the little cutback for 4-1. I mean, I didn't anticipate a whole team not showing up. I must admit that. I thought maybe the odd one might not show, but I mean, it's ironic that 2 teams have showed. All the players that are in the lineup are here, and yet the other team, not a single one of them has looked in. And if Sergeresh can get onto this 2-ball one way or another, he's going to have a very good chance, and he is on the 2. He's going to have a very good chance to take this match away from Larry. One thing about these racks, I don't think there's really been any balls in awkward places. I mean, as awkward as they come, that 8-ball is about it on the right side rail, but Sergeresh this time though, having potted the 2, couldn't get himself good in the 3. He's going for the bank. At least I think he is. And that's just holding a dead straight line. Well, Larry, I don't think can refuse this either. He's got to go for the bank. He's bound to be on the 4. But he's caught the jaw. Right. Quick look. And Bobby Barris 2-1 up against Christian. Brainfill Out's now 3-1 up. Well, Sergresh has blocked himself out. But again, he's left nothing easy for Larry. Same again, I think. Reverse bank into the side pocket. I don't think he's cutting this. And now he's in two minds here. He's looking around. But the only thing is, there's a danger he might run into the 5 here. Yeah, I think he was worried about running into the 5. But he's not left it easy. I mean, the 4 ball will cut. And again, if Sergaresh gets this, he's got to be on the 5. But it's a tester down the rail. It's held the line. And he's good now. Well, I know for one thing, I wouldn't have played 12 or 13 weeks every Saturday night and qualify for the playoffs and not be bothered to show up. Well, the good news is, Bill, you can get back to work. What are you hanging around here for? Who's the captain of that team? That's what I meant to check. Who's the team captain in that lot? Let's have a look. Who the hell are they again? Oh shit! Hang on a minute. Right. Team Omega. Where the hell are they? So Travelling TT's the captain, and he was in Friday Night 9 Ball last night. Right? He was in the stream for a little while, and we were talking about the league and notifying players and stuff. I mean, what the hell was he doing? I mean, I'm assuming, even though Steve did send out a mail shot, according to Steve, I would assume that he, as the team captain, sent out a mail shot. You see, I would have sent it out to everybody that's in my team, in case somebody doesn't show up, so I could fire them in if it was like 5 minutes to go. You know, it just seems that there's a complete lack of effort to see this through. I want to hear what the excuses are. That's what I want to hear. So Larry, trailing 5-1, is going to get another rack in the board. With the 8 ball, gets kicked into the side. 2 and 9 are no good. So two of that team were here today. Gracely was here earlier today. Who is it that said that? Was it Brain fell out? And Travelling TT was here at 10 to 6 and then he's disappeared. Good evening to Cobra. Well, Larry should be back within 2 here. He's just gone a wee bit further than comfortable past that 7. Now he's got to just get a hold of the cue ball, stop it leaking away. Well, Cobra, we've got 4 teams in the playoffs and 1 team couldn't be asked to show up at all. All the other players from the other teams that are in the lineup are all here, but 1 team couldn't be bothered. Not one of them in the lobby. Larry back to 5-3. I think it's dry though. Oh no, 6 ball goes in. But again, just when you're looking to be lying on a shot, he's got nothing really. But he's got the cover. Now, I think there might be room past that 8 ball on the right side as we look. Let's have a look, see what my commentator's eye says. Yeah, you can spin it. He's trying to get it from... He's trying to check it. This will still maybe squat past the back of this one. Yep, that was never the line. He played it with left English, but there was not enough room. He should have went the left side of the 8 ball. He could have spun that off the rail and clipped to one, maybe even a potted it. So, Larry has his opportunity. I was going to say I'm not convinced about playing the 1 ball from there. So he's now got it closer and he's got a lot more angle in this 5 ball than he really wanted, because now the cue ball wants to run. The question is what does he risk doing with the cue ball so that, he could put a bit of left English on it to come down towards the 5, and he has bumped to 5, and I don't think it's done him a great deal of harm. He might just want to go to the bottom rail and come back out a touch here. He's got a bit of right English on it to check it a bit when it hits the rail, just to try and spin it over. Once again, the angle in the 4 ball allows him to come around, not quite over as far as where the 7 ball is. He doesn't want to go there, he just wants to open up a shot, and that's perfect. No, it hasn't, Mark. I don't know whether you heard what I was saying to Cobra. Cobra's problem is the hours he's working next week. He says he's working 2 till 10 at night, so obviously an evening match next week is not on. But according to Cobra, he sent a proposal for tomorrow night around about 5 PM, and there hasn't been a response from Albinario yet. But maybe Albinario is hanging off until the 2nd week. What about next week, Cobra? I'm not talking about next week Monday. I'm not talking about Monday to Friday next week. What about the week after that? Because that might be what Albinario is hanging off for. Either the Monday or the Tuesday, because Tuesday's the final day. A week in Tuesday is the final day, I believe. That's the 17th of January. Yeah. So, but the working week next week after next week, if you know what I mean, are you still working 2 till 10? Well, I'll tell you, I mean, the weekend's fine for me as well, as long as it's like 5 p.m, because it could be a long night. That would be like 6 p.m. for Albinario. But as I say, if I can't get it, then hopefully Slim's around and he can do it. That way, at least I get to see it. So Larry, back to within 1. Now this just has to be a little dink, but he doesn't want to hook himself behind the 9. And he just wants a little bump off the rail, come above the 8 ball and cut it in. Doesn't want to go too far, he's fine. So from 5-1 down, Larry's got himself right back in it. No. That's, I'm up at 4 a.m. tomorrow again, 4 a.m. on Monday, 4 a.m. on Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, 4 a.m. on Friday, 4 a.m. on Saturday, and 4 a.m. on Sunday again next week, and then that's me off. Oh, this cue ball was thinking about it there. Well, he can see an edge of the 3, but there's not much he can do with it, I don't think. He'll settle for that though. Now, Sergresh has got to kick this because that's a dead set combo. He's got to pick the point in the rail. And I think if he gets any sort of hit, well, he's trying to jump this. I don't know why. I mean, he should be kicking this. I mean, it's a... Well, fair play to him. If he gets it, he gets it. But to me, I'd be kicking this. I'd never be trying to jump that at that distance. I don't know why he hasn't taken his time to look at this line. And I'm not convinced that's the line either. Yes, it is. And the 3 ball stays alive. Well, when was it? Was it Christmas Day morning? I think it was Christmas Day morning. I had the longest sleep of the year for me. Good offers. There's never any bloody good offers. There is never any good offers. I mean, the prices of things are just astronomical. They're ridiculous. I mean, you look in. The one thing I've noticed is that the 24 cans of Diet Coke, the 24 can, the boxes of Coke Zero and all of that stuff, they've now disappeared. They're now 18 cans, and I think they're probably charging them at the same price. Have you noticed that? Not that I buy any of that kind of crap, but there's nothing that's a good price. So Sergaresh, a testy 7 ball at distance. But Sergaresh is going to be 1 away. And this looks dry. Let's have a quick look at the matches. So, of course, those first two sets of matches are all done and dusted, and they're all going to be about to be done and dusted in a minute or two as well, the third set of matches. Meanwhile, we're still in the first set of matches in this tie between Breaking the System and 9-ball shots. 4-2 to Christian against Bobby Barris. Brainful out 6-3 up, and Sergeresh is one away, but Larry's at the table to try and take this to the final rack. Well, he's got a bit more angle than this 6-ball. He's taking it up top, and he got to watch that 9-ball. And trying to make sure that he wasn't going to go behind it. He's taking his eye right off the pot in the 6-ball. That was the only thing that was worried him, was where the cue ball was going. But he got nowhere near the pocket with the 6-ball. But having said that, Sergeresh has found another way to get behind the 9. But he's got plenty of room to jump this, although he's got to keep this in the table. Could easily end up on the floor. That was well done. So just the cut in the 9 in the the 8-ball will give him the match. And then it goes. So that's, I think, the first result through from this tie. And it should just update right now. There you go. Sergeresh through by 7 racks to 5. And meanwhile, we've got Brainful out on the hill, 6-4 up against Bankster. Let's go into that one. Brainful out at the table. And Brainful out is getting a 7-ball. And the good thing about that is the 6 is right next to the 7. And I think he's got enough angle in the 6 just to go to the short reel here and come back up. Stay in the middle of the table on this 7-ball. So this for the match as well. And there we have our second result. Brainful out wins 7-4. And that only leaves the match between Christian and Bobby Barris. Christian 4-3 up. And it's Christian who's getting the last 2. And Bobby Barris has got, he's got to get the cut and the draw in this cue ball. And that's well played. I mean, he's on the short side, but he can at least cut the 5. But it's all about how the pace of this cue ball is. Well, this looks good. I like the pace in the cue ball. That's excellent. That is very nice. He's taking far too long over this 6 ball. Far, far too long. He's doubting himself with this. And I tell you, he did his best to rattle that there. But this to square the match. He doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, Bobby Barris. All of this time scared to make a mistake. But it is all square, 4 racks all. And, well, a ball in the break, 3 balls gone. Absolutely no shot though. And there's not really a lot of great places you can push here. He certainly doesn't want to just push out to a pot. I mean, he could push out to the bottom left-hand side and leave an edge of the 1 ball, but he's probably going to get put back in. That's more than likely what would happen. But if he just pushes down to there, that's leaving a pot on if Christian fancies it. Well, that 1 ball bumping into the 2 has kept it up there. And, well, Bobby can jump the edge of the 4, no problem. I don't know whether he uses a jump cue or not, or whether he's got any confidence in using it. Now, you see, this is where players of Christian's level are never ever going to improve unless they start learning to play what seems to be the right shot. Now, the right shot there would have been to try and kill that cue ball to leave yourself the shot in the 4. I mean, fair enough, you've got to execute the shot, but he made no attempt to get on the 4. And when players are only thinking about potting a ball, they're in the very basic stages of playing this game, either in real life or this game, where they're not even given a thought to the next ball. He played it in such a way, that he was never ever going to get near the 4 ball. And, the sooner a player gets to the point where he's not only thinking about potting the ball, he's got to start thinking about the next one. Especially when it's maybe a problem ball. And this is where you then have to start learning the techniques with the cue ball control in order to try and manoeuvre that cue ball to a spot where you will have a shot. So the learning curve in this game is difficult to people who have either never followed billiards or pool or snooker or never played it in real life, and above all, never learned anything or never really tried to learn anything. because there's certainly a lot of stuff you can teach yourself through messing about and practicing stuff. And players of Christian's level, and Bobby Barris as well, they need to apply themselves a wee bit better, and they'd be much, much better players. Is that what Albie said? He's busy tomorrow. Aye. Well, it still doesn't. It still doesn't stop. It doesn't stop him from. What do you call it? From actually sending a re-proposal. As long as he knows you can't play in a weekday, then that makes it a fairly simple choice, doesn't it? I mean, why doesn't he? Why doesn't he propose for next Saturday or next Sunday at like 5 p.m. or something? Seems obvious to me. Well, that's it. I mean, you know, there's players who are just scared. They're scared to try stuff. I mean, it always frustrates me when I watch players where they come up with the excuse, "Oh, I play for fun." No, you play to get better. That's the first priority. You play to get better and try and improve your game. Of course, there's a lot of players who don't spend their life in VP4. They don't have the time, and so they make do with what time they do get, and everything tends to just be played loose a bit like that, where he's got himself. He's lucky he didn't scratch, but he's right on the point and hooked. Yeah, but I take it you well, I don't know whether he's grasped the fact that you can't play a weekday. And it might be there's a problem both sides here, where you can't play a weekday and Albinario can't play the weekends. And then we're really snookered. So, once again here, Christian, all he has to do is roll the 5 in. Now, here's a point exactly in this situation. He's got himself dead straight in the 6 and having to force follow, and of course rattling in the jaws, but the end result isn't bad. Now, even playing that 5 to the 6, the priority with playing the 5 to the 6 is you must have some sort of angle. So if you left it a wee bit short, that would be fine. At least you have an angle to pot it and go to the rail and come out. And Bobby Barris has fluked to 6. And that's another thing that can always happen. You might think you ended up getting a lucky roll of the ball, and then that happens. Well, again, how much time is Bobby going to take over this 9 ball? I mean, this is look at it for 2 seconds, see the potting angle, and play the shot. Let's see what he's up to here when he's lining up. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's fidgeting around trying to find the potting angle, you know, and he was almost overcutting that. But anyway, he's one away. And what's went? 4 ball has gone. Right, let's have a quick look at these other matches. We've got this match obviously still to finish, and the other match can't go ahead until this one is finished, obviously. We've got Larry and Bankster 1 rack all. Now, is Bankster getting a handicap in that? Yeah, he's getting the 8 ball. Again, he's played that cue ball in amongst all the trouble, and the best thing that happened here was actually missing it. Well, the 2 goes. Now I think I'd be punching this in a bit. I mean, these are not difficult pots that have been missed here. But there's definitely a lining up problem that Bobby Barris has. He doesn't see the shot. Now, I don't know whether his camera's at a suitable position and whether he's ever changed his setup at any time. He definitely doesn't seem to be comfortable at any time whatsoever. Well, right side, I mean, there's the safety. You just skim the 3 and you run for cover down this end, and he's even that shot there. I mean, fair enough, he's got it to the end rail, but the most obvious thing to do is to leave that 3 ball up there and duck down here and try and get cover. He hasn't got cover, that's the thing. And now he's ended up in trouble. He's asked for that. I'm imagining that there's quite a lot of players who play VP4 who've got absolutely no interest in the real life game. They probably don't. I think there's quite a lot of players like that who don't follow billiards or pool or snooker. That might be the case with quite a few players, I think. Because if you're ever needing any sort of help or advice on shots and stuff, I mean, there is the basic training you get in the offline, and that is perfect for a rookie at the game. That's the tutorials you get in the offline version are very good because we're talking real basics as an introduction to the game. But then when you look at the real life game, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube. Hundreds. I'm not talking about matches, I'm talking about tutorials and various different things. But that depends on whether you want to learn. And I don't think an awful lot of players want to learn a lot. I mean, that's another awful shot by Bobby. I don't know whether, and that's just as bad. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe somebody else can explain to me. Now, I thought you said you were working 2 till 10 all next week, Cobra. So why did you propose Friday? That's my question. I would assume that Monday to Friday you were working 2 till 10. There's something a bit fishy about this information that you've given us. Oh, a short day on Friday. Well, again, if it's Friday and it's 5 p.m., then I would go with that. I'm just talking about what suits me in that respect. Because if it went on 5 hours, then that's at least 10 o'clock, and I'm still getting to my bed early because Friday night 9-ball last night was like almost 11 o'clock. Well, Bobby Barris has won the match, 7 racks to 4. But both of these players are in serious need of some training. They definitely do need some training, but that's up to them whether they would want any sort of training. So that result is through. And Larry is 4-1 down to Bankster. Let's jump into that one. See if Larry can get back in the comeback trail again. Oh no. Well, the commentator's curse has worked here. Because Larry's hung up the 6. And it never fails. I'll get the blame for that. Well, next Friday I'm 6, up at 4 a.m, start at 6, finish at 9:45. And Bankster getting the 8-ball. So he's got this cut into the side. I don't know whether he can hold this cube. Maybe the angles might allow him to hold this a wee bit. That's what he's tried. It's almost leaked away, but he's still good. So that's for 5-1. Well, it took a while for that to come through. I've got a WhatsApp message that's just popped up there and it says you're muted from semi-pro. And that was it. When did that get sent? 1 minute past 6. What the hell's up with WhatsApp? So that just took an hour for that text message to get through my phone. Oh, good evening to Tam. Well, Larry will be going for the cut in this because that 1-ball's way short of the rail. And if he can get round and bump the 7, and he's going wide of it, he needs to keep going. Well, this needs to slow up as well. Well, I think he's having to spin it round. Yep, he went too far, letting the cue ball run away too much. Yep, soon as I joined the room, Larry missed that 6-ball. Mind you, he had to cut it in. It wasn't a gimme. But I generally never fail to jinx Larry. I'm always pretty successful. But he's dug a hole for himself in this rack. because he was never really getting himself in shape. And, well, just roll the 7 in. Shouldn't be any problem. Big ass now for Larry. They think they get the time wrong. Well, why have we had 13 weeks at 6 p.m. our time, and suddenly it's going to be 7 p.m.? What you know, the clues in the fact that all the weeks up till now were at 6 p.m. an hour ago. Now, what about their other team member? Presumably, they've got contact details for him. Maybe get him dug out his bed or wherever he is. So Bankster, what went there? The 5 ball in the break. Oh, a nice little jump and a combo in the 1-3. And he's nailed behind the 8, I think. Most certainly. Well, the 4 ball will go. Yeah, it's very tight. I don't know whether it's worth trying to use the rail, because the chances are you're going to bump into the 8 ball anyway if you do that. Well, that's a good shot.
Let's watch a replay of that last shot.
So Bankster, home and dry. Good win for Bankster, 7 racks to 1. Right, let's see where we stand now. So, we have that result is just about to update, which it has done. We've got Brainfill out 2-0 down to Bobby Barris, who's getting a 7 ball. And Christian is getting 5 and out against Sergaresh. And Sergaresh is 1-0 up. Let's have a look in the lobby. Yeah, travelling TT's there. Mr. Fox is there. Who's the third team member? Because I've totally forgotten again. Grayslate, wasn't he? He was a third team member. Yeah, he's definitely not there. Right, so well, let's see if Brainfillout can get back into this match with Bobby Barris. Bobby Barris getting the 7 ball at the table, 2-0 up. And he's overcut it. It was pretty difficult to overcut that a great deal. So Brainful Out's got his chance to get on the board here. So he's going to leave this long into the corner. The problem with that is that the cue ball wanting to leak over towards the 8 ball. Well, it's definitely going to leak over towards the 8 ball, but if he gets right into the cue ball, he hasn't got into it enough. But he can cut the 8, and he's got to watch how this cue ball comes off the long rail, because he's got to travel at least 3 rails or hold it dead weight to try and leave the cut. Well, I don't think I'd have been doing that. I think I'd have been running the cue ball every day of the week. But he's left the bedhead cut, gone to the rail too soon, and gifted the rack. This might be the story of this match so far. Maybe this is what Brainful Out's been doing. He's been getting chances, and then all he's been doing is cocking up on the important ball. And Bobby Barris has just been picking up the pieces. So 3-0. Gilt edge chance thrown away there from Brainful Out. But he had to get into that cue ball more to keep it higher up the table when it hit that first rail. He needed to get a bit more dig into it. So the question is well, of course, they've turned up too late, haven't they? That's what I've just realised. I forgot the whole thing's over. So maybe the two of them have just arrived in the lobby to get humiliated. Maybe that's the idea. Well, this is going to have to go 2 rails. Oh, he's trying to get into the gap now. Was that a legal hit? It looked very close. Yes, it was. I thought he was going to go 2 rails there, but he's trying to sneak into the gap, and he got it. And he hasn't left anything really easy on, I don't think. He's got the hook as well. Good result. So presumably at the end of this fiasco tonight, that we have a list of the payouts and whatever it is that shows up, because we've yet to see that. There must be a sort of a summary page. Well, like that, the event summary. There must be something appears here other than just showing how the league table showed. So once these matches are finished, there must be something that shows up here. I would like to think so. Meanwhile, Christian and Sergaresh. Sergaresh is 2-1 up in that match. He might be dead straight in this 2 ball. Well, it just could have done with coming out a wee bit further. Now this 9 ball's in play here. Again, if the cue ball's just going to take its natural path, it's going to be close to that 9 ball, I think. Well, he's trying to stun across to avoid running into the 9, but that's missed the pot. Hasn't left anything as a gimme. But it is a chance for Brainful out. Now, this could be the same story as the last rack. As I said, what I think the way this match has been going before we arrived. Brainful out's got his chance. That's the first chance gone. And he's going to have another go. Bobby Barris has tried a thin cut. So Brainful out's had his practice shot. Now he needs to get this right. All the balls are there. He's got to put this away and get on the board. That's better. Now again he's at that funny angle on the 5 ball and worried about the side pocket. Now, be no harm in coming in and bumping the 8 ball and coming out into the table a wee bit. Oh, he's stayed on the other side of the rail, the pocket. And now it's tricky again. Right, let's have a quick look and see how this 7 ball sitting. Right, well, all you do is cut it into the right side of the pocket and use the angle. And once again, you can't nursemaid this in. You've got to go full blooded, get it in and go the 2 rails. You don't play any chicken shots, and that'll do as long as it slows up. So he's on the board at last. Ball in the break, and well, not really got a shot in the 1. Quick look, and Sergeresh is now 3-1 up. But any mistakes at any time by Sergeresh, that 5 and out handicap can turn that match on its head for Christian. Little billiard he's trying. Well, again, Brainful out, I think, has got a roll of the ball there. Has left Bobby absolutely nothing. Now, is there a gap between the 6 and the 3 to actually kick that 1 from that end of the table? It looks too tight. But 2 rails around the corner on that top left-hand corner pocket would be the 1 route to get to the 1 ball. And so now, Brainful out has the ball in hand option. So 1 ball, not a problem. 3 and 4 balls shouldn't be a problem. He wants to sort of... Well, see, even that shot there, he hasn't gone through far enough on the 3 ball. He wanted to be straighter than this 3 ball. See, now he's immediately getting himself in trouble. So a simple shot of rolling a ball in and rolling through a couple of inches, Brainful out's immediately got himself out of shape and having to dig out pots. And the inevitable has happened. Well, that was numpty-ish how he did that. definitely, because you've got to get yourself pretty straight on that 4 ball or whatever ball it was, just to roll it in and see the other ball up the table or down the table towards us. And he immediately got it wrong right off the bat with ball in hand. And Bobby's got ball in hand here for a 5-9 combo. And that's kind of things you end up doing when you've got absolutely no confidence in potting wide open balls that are on the table. You know, there was not a problem, but your problems are multiplied if you're not confident in how you control the cue ball, and that's Bobby's problem. He just doesn't have the confidence to try and execute shots. So Brainful Out's been handed a lifeline here to get it back to within 1. Yeah. They're not easy. Catching any of these pockets, you catch a knuckle and you're not going in. So another go for Brainful Out. Well, this time he's got to decide what he's doing with the 8 ball. Is he going to drop it in dead weight and finish on the bottom left side of the 9 into the side? Well, he's going to have to now because he's dead straight. In fact, he's so straight he didn't go forward. He's now got to hope he can get the control in the draw shot here. Well, he's managed to pinch the angle, but he's now headed to bedhead territory. And watch the cue ball, because if he's hitting this plain ball, he needs to watch the line when he's cutting this. And I think he's okay. So back to within 1. Quick look, and we'll see that Sergresh is now 4-2 up in his match with Christian. I think that break was dry. Now you've got to spot the danger here with the push out. Now see, the danger here is, as Bobby's played a pretty poor push out, and the danger is that the 2 ball goes as well. So again, strategy wise, you know, all the components that you want to be learning to improve at this game. It's not just the potting of the ball, but the strategy side of it. And that push out from Bobby left a lot to be desired. Brainful Out's not exactly been setting the cloth on fire. He's been getting umpteen chances, which I think is what he's expecting. I think he's expecting just to bide his time and that Bobby Barris is not going to be getting to that 7 ball too often. Welcome to bedhead. And again, Brainful Out's overcut it this time. So here we go. Now, first thing Bobby should be doing is turning round and having a look at the 5 ball. Because what he wants to do is kill this cue ball stone dead, so he's looking down the barrel of a gun at that 5 ball, and then all he has to do is roll it in. That's what he should be doing. And he doesn't look like he's killing the cue ball to me. Well, he might be now. So now all he has to do is roll the 5 in. And don't follow through too far. You need to leave yourself a nice high little angle on this 6 ball. See, he's opening everything up here and going fairly straight. See, now there is enough there to manoeuvre the cue ball, but you've got to get the spin working here to get out of there. So again, he should have just rolled through to here, and then he had absolutely no problem getting the cue ball out. So basic things like that, not seeing these situations, players are going to end up getting themselves in trouble more often than not, and now he's in no man's land. You've got to start asking yourself these questions in your head while you're playing. You know, where do I want to put this cue ball when I pot this ball for the next ball? Where do I want to put it? How am I going to get there? What's the best thing to do? If I leave it in the middle of the table, I'm leaving myself high in the 6. That way the cue ball has to come off the bottom rail and come up into the table. Did he ever question himself and ask himself that? Well, the thin cut of the bank, I much prefer the bank. The bank looks as if it's going in every day. Just a nice pace in the bank. If you're playing the cut, you've got to think about how you're getting on that 8 ball, and that ain't it. That's a serious bedhead cut, asking for a scratch every day of the week as well off that 9 ball. Well, he's decided to go for the bank, and is that going to hold enough? Yes, it has done. So now Brainful Out back all square. Quick look at the other match, and we'll see that Christian is back to within 2. Sergeresh with a 5-3 lead. And Brainful Out's break has given him the 6 ball. And well, he should be risking a scratch here and tucking this cue ball up behind the 5 and 9. That's too inviting for me to refuse that. I mean, he's looking around and looking around. The path's here between the 7 and the 8. Just cut that 1 ball by however much you need to hit it and get the cue ball up behind the 9 and 5. That's a shot every day of the week. And then you've got that line of balls there. He's gone too narrow, I think. Yeah, is there enough of that shown to get an edge to that one? No, there isn't. But it's an easy hit. But it's not a legal hit. Well, again, what Brainful Out should be doing is at some point ducking behind that 5 and 9 and just burying Bobby. Unless he gets some sort of angle in order to give that 5 and 9 a nudge. Yeah, I could see he was cutting across that 2-ball. Well, what Bobby doesn't want to do is to miss this 2 and bust open the 5 and 9. He doesn't want to do that. Now, Christian is back to within 1 in that match for Sergeresh. Well, I think Bobby can barely see an edge of this 3-ball. And it's past the 50-yard line in the side pocket. And he still convinced himself he could cut it in. Now, the problem here is the 7 balls in the way, because what he could have done is potted the 3 and spun into the bottom rail and come around the corner and bump that 5 and 9. There's a strong chance he would have still been on the 4. I don't think he can do it now. He's maybe trying to draw off it to get there. But the 7 balls hampering the sort of path he'd normally take. You see, he still went for it. He still convinced himself he could get past the 7. It was never happening. And now he's hooked. Well, he's also convinced himself he can jump this at this distance. Where's that one? Hang on a minute. Is that it?
The green is gone.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. That's the one I was wanting. So now Bobby, with ball in hand, is putting himself. He's got to leave himself a slight angle in this 4. Again, that is just not it. I'm afraid. You know, you've got to play the right shot, Bobby, and it's just definitely the lack of knowledge that's doing it. Well, this is a delicate, touchy little shot if you're brave. Just try and bump the 5 and drop on the 9. That'll do it. I think it will. No, it won't. He hasn't got tight to the 9. And, of course, he can't see enough of the 5 to pot it. But what he could do is bump it up the table and try and get in behind the 9. Well, there's your target, Brainful out. In behind the 9 again. Take the risk. Take the risk that Bobby isn't going to be able to get out. Well, he's went for the bank and he's got the double bank again. Now, I think we're going to bail out this match for the moment, because Sergeresh And Christian on 5, Sergaresh on 6. Sergaresh is obviously going to jump this 5 ball, but he's going to have no shot on the 2 ball, I don't think. He's dead straight. And he might even follow this in. And that's probably the best result there, the fact that he missed it, because he's now got Christian in trouble. Now, can he just get enough of the 1 ball? Oh, the 4 ball has come into the path of the 2. This would have been oh so easy, just to pot the 1 and be lying perfectly on the 2. But it's almost dead set as a combo anyway. But the 4 ball stays in the table, and Christian, little bump on the 2 onto the 4. And the 2 ball going in as a bonus, because now all he has to do is roll the 5 in, and we're hill. There you go. Told you this match wasn't over. That's how dangerous 5 and out is. And now the pressure's on Sergaresh, because he can see the 1, the 2's in the open. They are all there to take the run out and win the match. Perfect line in this 3 ball. Now, while Sergaresh is at the table, once he's played this shot, we'll have another look at the other match, and Brainfill Out still up 4-3. We'll nip back into that once this one's over. Oh, he's left it short. This is another testy one, and of course it's the business end of the rack. Can't afford to miss this. But in it goes. Now, how is he in the 7? He's fine. Now again, he's got to watch that he's not running into the 8 ball. And he's well away from that. And he should be home and dry. And so Sergaresh eventually gets over the line in the final rack decider. So that now... oh, wait a minute. Let's go back. So that now gives 9 ball shots a 4-1 lead. And it makes this match between Brainfill Out and Bobby Barris even more important now that it's 4 racks all. Brainfill Out simply has to win. It is a definite must. He must get a result in this match. Well, when he comes up the table here, again, he's got to avoid running into the 7, which he's done, and overcut the 3. Because he had no shot in the 4, I don't think. No, he didn't. Well, this is horrible, this. I think he's pretty straight on this 3 ball anyway. And the one thing also you notice about players of the level of Bobby Barris, they very rarely have any thought of a safety as such. You very rarely see them thinking about a safety. They just continually try to pot balls. Or even when there's not a pot on, they don't generally do an awful lot to try and keep things safe anyway. That's what I've found by watching them. Greenfield out is getting himself in trouble again. And again, it's a problem because we're at the business end of the rack. Bobby could come to the table here and just have a couple of balls to put away. Well, he's going to have that chance. Yeah, 8 ball was always a hindrance. So now he'll have a go at the bank, I would think. Get behind him before he plays the shot. Well, he's come right across that. And Greenfield has been let out of jail again. I've got to get it done this time. As I say, the result of this match is vital for breaking the system. They're trailing by 4 matches to 1, and Brainflout must win. I don't think there's any other options going to suit him. He must win. Yeah, just go forward, just pot the 8 ball and let the cue ball come across, but don't scratch. And 3 ball, if it misses a 9, it might have gone in. And, well, if I was Bobby, I'd be giving this 1 ball a smack onto the 9, because you never know. Just give it a good bang. Well, it almost got there. And now, the 9 ball's asking to be knocked in. Is he going to... I mean, he's way behind the 1, so there's no way he's cutting that one onto the 9. He's got to get the 1 and the 2 and then play the 3 onto the 9. That's what he's got to do, because that's, that isn't going to be a problem. He just needs to come up the table. And this will give him that little bit of daylight that he desperately needs. So Bobby's attempt on that combo in the 9 backfired, with the 9 staying over the pocket. Brain pull out. 1 away from sealing a vital point, a vital win. And the 3 ball's gone in the break. He's straight in the 1. Just a gentle roll in so that he's got a cut angle on the 2 to come down for this 4, because the 4 goes past the 6. So he just wants to roll this in, and I don't know why, for the life of me, he's done that. Again, that's just poor. That's poor. I mean, it was just a straightforward roll in, and leave yourself the cut in the 2 to come down 2 rails to the right side of this 4 ball. That was the shot. And got himself in trouble because of it again. Wonder if Steve's in he is. What a shambles this is, Steve.
A shambles.
A bloody shambles. Because you've got 3 teams who all showed up, and you've got 1 team that couldn't be asked.
Well, I don't know why they didn't show up. I mean, I sent a message out, and it just gives a lovely bunch of coconuts a bye to the final.
Well, we stand corrected a little bit, because Mr. Fox and who was the other one? Travelling TT both showed up an hour late, but by then everything was done and dusted. Gracely apparently was here 10 minutes before the thing was due to start. Then he disappeared and he's never been seen again.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the 2-week break was a bad idea because got out of that mode. Did you ask anybody if they got the alerts or the messages today, the
No.
4 hour before?
No, because I was at my dinner, so I got here like 10 minutes before it was about to start. I'm assuming
who's around in the stream.
Well, Larry was there earlier on. Maybe Larry's still awake, or maybe he's.
Larry, you there, or is Bill there?
Bill was there. Maybe they're actually in this tournament. Is
Bill,
it not the doubles?
Did you get an alert or a notification? Okay, the alert came through. So you also should have got a message too, then, and your messages, and was that there too?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then if you had email forwarding, that you should have got an email. Did you guys get that too?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's all working. That's good. Okay, I don't know. I mean, I think it was a mistake to set up a league where it's ending right at that time. I'm gonna have to look at the dates more carefully next time. Don't think about planning 17 weeks ahead, but I think I need to.
So what happens now once these matches are finished?
Well, then they're going to advance, which it looks like there's some issues with the playoff bracket, so I'm going to have to fix that. The playoff bracket's not displaying right. The scores are wrong, and we don't have the rest of the bracket for the 2 winners, and then that's 2 winners of this. The second, there's some issues, it looks like, with the display of the playoff brackets. I broke that somehow. But I mean, it's good that it's running, and that's good. Everything ran, so that's good.
Well, Brainful Out must win this match. They're trailing 4-1. So he's got to get a result here. He's on the hill.
Because this is like, I can't remember how much money is left. Let me take a quick look at how much V dollars is paying out on this.
I think you should scrap the whole thing and reinstate VP4 TV. That's what I think you should do. I'll go and round up my teammates.
Let's see.
This is the story of a lot of these racks here. Brain Pullout's getting himself in all sorts of trouble here when it comes to finishing off the deal. He's got himself in no good position in this 3-ball.
So this is 25% of the money. So 75% of the money is paid back out to the league. So when I say the money, you're talking about everything that went into it. So 75% was then paid out to the league at the end of normal league, and every team got paid in that. Even last place got something.
Oh, so VP4 TV actually are getting something.
No, you already got it. At the end of regular league, if you look in your results thing, you should have seen that you won some money.
Did we?
Yeah. Go back and look. The payout for league, normal league play was 75% of the money to everybody.
Right,
now,
where do I look for the payout then? Where am I looking in the schedule? Where do I find that?
What you got paid? What you got paid is going to be in your results.
So Brain Pullout's one.
Tab.
Right, let me look. Hang on a minute. Let me have a look. Where are we? That was a vital win for. Right, I'm looking at the schedule. So there's the event summary tab, the teams tab, the matches tab, and the playoffs. Where do I find where we see a payout? I don't see it.
You got to go back to where the league ended. No, not here on your profile. What you personally got, it'll show up on your profile. Maybe I should put it on the schedule, like the results in the schedule too.
What is that under events?
No, it's on your profile.
What, charge history?
No, recent activity. Well, it'll be in charge history too, but recent activity will show it.
Hang on.
You just got to go back to whatever the date was. What was the date that this thing actually ended?
All right, what was the date? The deadline, the final day. Where's that?
So the last round was played on the December 10th. So go back to December 10th.
Oh, that's 10. Is it 10? What the hell's happened there? Oh, it's just updating. I don't know whether I'll go back far enough.
December there, right there. Just scroll up.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I go back too far? Hang on.
No. You just were on the page.
Right, there we are. And 9ball.com of Team VP4 TV finished 5th in the Saturday Night 9-Ball League, winning $210 V. Right, I see it now. Right, I've got that. Right. Oh, here, hang on a minute. I'm going back the wrong way.
So you were personally paid. It wasn't your team. You were personally paid $210.
Yeah.
So, and you know, obviously the teams that finished higher got paid more.
Mm-hmm.
So for the playoffs now, the other 25% of the money that was paid in is going to come out. And let's see, does every playoff team get paid? I don't remember what I did. Let me look at this.
Right, we're going to get into this Brain Pullout Sergaresh match.
Yeah, the playoff payout is also to every team, and obviously the team that finishes first is getting more than everybody else. But we are paying all 4 places for the playoffs too. So even the team that didn't show up is going to get something.
That 8-ball's finished. Again in a horrible spot.
And as a matter of fact, I can go tell you what it is. I'll just go look to Fantastic Fox here. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, okay. It's not gonna actually put the money out until everybody the playoffs are completely done. So I can't tell you.
So Brainfillout's 1-0 up. He's getting the 5-ball, which is a good handicap for him, considering that 8-ball is nailed to the rail right on the point of that side pocket. That's going nowhere fast.
Well, I mean, Breaking the System needs to win all their matches. They're outstanding to actually get a W. They got to win all 3 this round. It's not looking good for Breaking the System to go into the final.
Yeah, not considering that Bankster's 4-1 up in his match. Christian knows getting 6 and out though.
We're going to run more leagues. The next one's going to be an 8-ball league, I think. We just got to decide whether it's going to be bar table or big table. I think we should play bar table, but nobody ever agrees with me on this thing. I think it's a better game on the bar table, and I'll tell you why I think that. A, there's more strategy, so I don't care if you're good or bad or whatever. There's more strategy. But B, I think it's also good for the lower level players because they'll have a little bit better time playing 8-ball on the bar table. And to do the handicap, we're going to have to do game handicapping. So, unless I use a point system, it's going to have to be a game handicap. So they can't be real short races.
I don't see any protests in the chat there, Steve.
Yeah.
I don't see a whole barrage of protests saying no, we don't want the bar table.
Oh, by the way, I've been working on the physics stuff, and like that 4-ball shot that didn't go in. The pockets are going to play a little easier once this update comes out. It's still not going to be being able to hit the rail necessarily way up the rail like you were before, but the pockets will play easier than they are right now. And I've got the ball throw done, so I'm getting there on that. Hopefully I'll be in a position to update as soon as this Cowboy tournament's over.
Well, Cobra's proposal for tomorrow night for the final with Albinario, that is a no-go because Albinario isn't going to be around for tomorrow night. So now we're looking at next weekend as a proposal. Friday, I think Cobra said Friday or Saturday or maybe Sunday again, I'm not sure. Well, Brainfillout's been handed a gift here, apart from the fact that the 5-ball has gone. He's got to take these 3 out. What about a 1 pocket or a straight league? That's you playing into Steve's hands here.
Well, I mean,
a 1 pocket league. It'll just be a league with 2 players.
I don't think a 1-hole league is going to fly. We just don't have enough players. Straight pool, we might be able to do it. But that's the question: is how many teams can we really get?
Yeah,
8-ball and 9-ball. I mean, I'm sure we can get the teams.
Yeah, the problem with straight pool is it would take too long. A league session would take too long for straight pool for 3 different matches. Well,
you could play 50-point or 75-point games. That wouldn't be bad.
That would take far too long.
No.
Yes, it would.
What's it take you to play a 75-point match of straight pool?
It takes a long time, bearing in mind the level of the players that are playing. You'd be there for an hour and a half for them to play a 75-point.
Well, for starters, we'd play it on the club table, and I don't think 75 is gonna well, look at semi-pro, Mr. Obvious. All right, Captain Obvious, we got that figured out already. Yeah, I mean, we could play straight pool league. It's just I think the issue with straight pool is going to be getting enough people in the league.
Well, what about making a 3-ball league? There you go. That's open to every man and his dog. Everybody would fancy their chances in that. That'd be wide open. A 3-ball league.
I mean, we could play 3-ball league. That wouldn't be a problem.
That would be hilarious. Slim would sign up for that. He loves 3-ball. I like it for arithmetical reasons. You don't have to count that much.
I just figure, play time for league. I was shooting for around 2 hours because I figured that, that's a nice amount of time. It's enough to really get in and get to play a bunch, but it's not, a ridiculous time commitment. So I was kind of thinking 2 hours again. So, for 8-ball, that's probably, race to 4. We probably can't go past that. Yeah, the toughest thing about 8-ball is that I think the advantage is bigger for better players in 8-ball than it is in 9-ball.
Well, maybe I'll put a vote up on my YouTube channel. I think I'll put a vote on the community tab, and we'll see what sort of feedback we get there.
Yeah, I mean, 8-ball's a popular game. It's good for league. Everybody knows how to play it.
But it's got to be, what is it that, who is it that said it? It's got to be 8-ball US, is it, or something?
Well, world rules.
World rules, sorry. Yeah, world rules.
That would be what we'd use. So,
Brain Fallout's doing the right thing at the moment. He's 3-0 up in his match, but looking at the other two, Larry's got himself on the board. He's 2-1 down to Bobby Barris. Larry should, even though Bobby's getting 5 and out, Larry should be getting a result there against Bobby.
Well, I mean, that's tough giving up that kind of it's tough giving up that kind of spot because there are two things that kind of figure into this. One is that, if you dog it or you miss a ball when there's 2 or 3 balls left on the table, you're probably done. Really, with a 5 out, 5 and on, I mean, if you leave the guy a shot, I mean, Bobby Barris can make a ball.
Yeah, well, I agree.
The other problem is guys getting lucky. I mean, because when you got that many wild balls, guys can get lucky on you.
Yeah, see, that's what I say with Bedhead says there. I agree with what Bedhead says. A player like Bobby playing 8-ball, in a race to 4, he'll take an inordinate amount of time to find his way out on an 8-ball table, bar table or no.
Well, I mean, we can put a shot clock in. I mean, if people are taking a ridiculous amount of time, that's just not right. Well, we don't have to make it a real severe shot clock, but got to make it so that people move along.
So Sergeresh, I don't know that this 4-ball goes.
Well, you don't know what the handicap's going to be. They could lose racks in 8-ball against lower ranked players. I mean, it depends on how lower ranked they are. You take a guy that's let's say take Larry, who's 2259, and he's playing some guy that's around 2000. I mean, the handicap's going to make a difference. I mean, if you're playing against somebody that's really low, I suppose it wouldn't matter. But
that wasn't great from Brain Fallout.
With somebody that's pretty low, you might be in a situation where it's a race to 4 and they're getting 3 games on the wire.
And that's why it wasn't a good shot. He's let Sergeresh in here to get off the mark. Now, quick look at these. That needs to keep running across as well. Quick look at the other matches. We've got Larry still trailing 2-1 to Bobby Barris. Bankster is now 4-2 up, so Christian's got a rack back. I say that match could turn on its head very quickly. I'm still thinking Larry should be too good. He should still be winning that match against Bobby. So there's a chance here, but it all hinges, I think, in the Christian match more than anything else. The way it's looking.
Now it's 2-2 with Larry. Larry just won. Yeah, honestly, I think when I make this change to make the pockets play a little easier, I think it's going to give the better players even more advantage. Because here's the thing: is if you're in a situation where you're the better player and you need to run out, it's going to be easier if the pockets play a little easier. And I mean better by a lot. If you're better by a little, and it's not going to really matter.
So Brain fell out in a good position now. Sergresh couldn't get the job done. It's 4-0. And, well, as Steve said, Larry's tied that match up now.
Watch out. I can tell you that in real life, I'd beat a lot more pros on tighter tables than I have on loose tables. I mean, I've won matches against pros on both tight and loose, but I've won at a lot higher percentage on tight tables.
Why would that be, Steve?
Well, because one reason is my break's not great, and when you play on a looser table, you got to break and run out a lot. And if you don't break well, I've lost a lot of matches where I didn't miss a ball and I lost because I didn't break as well as the other guy. Mm-hmm. So what happens is on easier tables, your break really matters a lot more. The other thing is that, on the tighter tables, the pros are going to have to play safe more too. They're going to have to play safe more. They're liable to miss balls more. So, you're going to get a few more chances.
Will the rating be adjusted or left as is, or can't you do the ratings via overall instead of individual game rating? What are you talking about?
Well, but they already are done. They already are done of a combination. It's not done by individual game rating. It wasn't done for individual game rating for this league.
Sergresh again.
I don't think, anyways. I'm pretty sure that at least when you signed up. Now, when I adjusted them, that might have been a different story. But certainly on the sign up, it wasn't done that way. And I'd have to look at as far as the adjustment went.
Just going a wee bit too far.
Yeah, the last pro I beat on a loose table was Tony Chohan. I'm playing 10 ball. It was race to 6. I beat him 6-2. I missed 1 ball. I broke and ran 3 racks in the break, and twice he broke dry, and I ran both of those out. So of my 6 games, I ran out 5 of them from the 1 ball, and 3 of them were breaking runs.
Well, Sergresh has hung the 6, but this I think is dead straight. That's about as good as he could get there. Good angle though.
I'm not sure about that semi-pro. I'm not sure that it was done that way. I'll have to take a look at it.
Meanwhile,
I'm pretty sure that when players went on teams, it was done with. Well, I'm not gonna. When I say it's not an individual, but it's not the overall rating that shows on your profile either. It's a rating that you can't see. It figures out what you are based on a bunch of different stuff. but it wasn't just the 9-ball rating. I'm almost positive about that. Now the adjustment that was made may have been made on the 9-ball rating, but not the initial.
So this for 5-0. He's overcut it. Overcut it. He's making hard work of this brain fill out.
Well, it's 3-2 Bobby Barris now over Larry.
And Sergaresh has done the same. He's hung the 9. So it's now a total gift. So 5-0 in this match. Where are we?
Well, he just didn't hit that, did he?
And it's 5-2 to Bankster. So
yeah, so that's the match that that could be the key match, is the Bankster match. Larry's down, but he's got a chance to pull this out.
couple of balls in. He's got a pot in the 2.
Christian's getting the 6 out. I don't know. I'll have to look at the code. That would surprise me. I know at least some of it was done with a
oh, look at where the 2 balls finished.
Let's see.
Well, I don't know whether the 5 ball's in the way for the kick. I think the 5 ball's in the way. He's miscued. So things are going from bad to worse for Sergaresh as well. He's taking his eye off the cue ball there. But I don't know that the line was there where that 5 ball was sitting. He could have come to the end rail, the bottom rail here. He could have gone to the rail. The more difficult shot was actually going here and trying to spin the cue ball up and catch that too. That was a more difficult shot. But I'm not convinced he could actually get the bank line where that 5 ball was sitting.
Let's see. Set up team action.
And let's have a look. I think he's going to catch the point with that 4 ball. He's not convinced himself either. But I think if he puts a wee bit of spin on it, it might catch enough of that point just to spin out. He's just trying to roll it safe. And that ain't safe, I'm afraid. But the chances of the cue ball getting out of there aren't great unless it double kisses a 6. And it has done. And he has got a cut in the 5. So is Sergaresh going to get off the mat? Well, to get off the mat, he's going to have to get right down on this 7 ball because it does go past the 8. And Bobby's still 3-2 up. Christian is still 5-2 down. And Sergaresh is trying to get a rack in the board. And he's absolutely straight on this. He can pinch a little bit of an angle and with left spin and come around. Yeah, he's fine. So it's a long road back for Sergaresh. But he's underway and he's got a ball. 3 ball is going in and he's on the 1 and the 2's available. And the 4's over the top right hand corner. The 5 is wide open. And the 6 is dodgy. That's the problem ball. So the obvious thing is that where the 6 is, you'd be asking a hell of a lot to try and get right into this spot here, bumping the 7, and staying on the 6 that way. But that's what he's got to think about. And he's trying to get behind the 6 before he's potted the 5. But, well, I think that, let's have a look at the cut angle on that 5. Can he put right spin on this cue ball and try and tighten the angle up so that he does come over towards this 7 ball? I think he can. I think he's got to put a bit of right spin on to sharpen it up around this corner to come over. He's not doing that though. He's just putting draw on this. Well, he's tried to get there, but that's what happens when you try it that way. So 6-1 to Brainfill out. So on the hill, and the 2 ball is gone, and he's on the 1. And he just needs to have a look at the potting angle and look at where the 3 ball is. So I think with this shot it'd be far better just coming to this side, because that's where the cue ball wants to go. Now he's putting a bit of left on this so that he checks the rail and straightens up, avoids the 8 ball. Now again, he only has to get to the 5 ball. So he's looking up and down the table. The only thing that's a problem here is the 6 ball getting a bump on it. If he just pots the floor ball and lets it come down and back up the table, he's home and dry. He's spending an awful lot of time looking around when there's not an awful lot of thought involved here. Well, he's trying to nurse it in. You see, again, you've got to play that with confidence. There's no way he should have been trying to baby that in and hold for the 5. He had all the room in the world to get up and down the table on the 5. That was crazy. Crazy that. He should have just played the shot that was there and let the cue ball run.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, Semi-Pro. It looks to me like that's not the case, that it's actually using some kind of combined rating.
Well, Bankster has sealed the deal in that match.
Later.
Bankster wins 7 racks to 3, so it's a win for 9 ball shots regardless of the outcome of the other matches now. And Bobby Barris is 4-3 up against Larry. Sergeresh has missed this. Oh, what did he do there? Did he combo the 9? Maybe that's what I missed. Anyway, it's back to 6-2. But I'll tell you, Brainfill will be kicking himself if this match goes pear-shaped, because he had the match won had he played the right shot.
Well, it looks like it's going to be breaking the system. Or no, it looks going to be 9 ball shots against a lovely bunch of coconuts. Yeah, I'll double check that I mean, the code's in there to do it not by individual. Unless it's not working right, it shouldn't have been done that way.
Got to watch this 9 ball. Got to watch the 9 ball. Why don't people listen? Well, that actually has turned out not too bad where it's finished.
They don't listen because they either don't know where the cue ball's going, or they're hitting it and hoping.
Well, in that situation there, it was always going to run and hit the 9 ball, so you have to be fully aware of that. And what he did is exactly that. He's run into the 9 ball and he's got lucky. He came out smelling the roses. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, here we go. There he is.
Good point. I think Brain fell out can handle this.
Well, that's a sucker shot there. So Brain fell out, gets it done, but it's all too late, I'm afraid. It's a consolation point to bring them back to 5-3. And so Larry can, again, it's all inevitable no matter what happens. But it's 4 racks apiece at the moment. Larry at the table. And, well, he's just going to have to run. I mean, he doesn't need to. He can run to the short though and come back down. What's he doing here? Oh dear, I thought he tried to hook himself behind the 9. Oh, the yawning started. That's the usual time the yawning starts, about 8:15 or 8:20. That's usually when it kicks in. Oh, I thought that one was going to finish on top of the 9 there for a combo. It still might be a billiard here for Larry. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's definitely doable. These kind
No,
of
he's gone for the
are
pot.
touchy, but I would have shot the billiard.
No, I would always have went for it.
It wasn't that thin to get it. But you know, I mean, that's the thing is running out is
See,
if you're playing good and you know you're going to run out, and
this
you
is
may not
test
want to
8.
take a chance. Yeah, he should make this. This isn't that bad.
Oh, look where he's finished though. Look where he's ended up.
Well, he didn't hit it right. That's for sure. There's no reason to be there.
Now he's all over the place.
Yeah. Now it's hit and hope, and he's still hoping. And the problem here is getting on the 8 ball is not going to be easy. You might have to play the combination.
Yes. Numpty was mentioned on the odd occasion there, Brain fell out. And we also brought out this one.
Brain is gone.
That one was brought out on the one occasion. Just as well you had me muted.
Well, and that's what he's going to end up doing is shooting a combo. And just think, once upon a time, he could have just shot that
billiard, yeah.
That billiard shot and been done with it. This combo is probably just as hard as that was.
So Larry on the hill. I presume Larry knows the score, so it's just a case of marking time here. Just going through the motions.
Well, I'll tell you one good thing that's going to come out of this. All these guys that are higher, like not to mention any names, semi-pro, now understand that they can give up some huge spots, and they're still the favorite.
And the only real way things can go wrong when you're given 5 and out to an opponent is you doing stupid things. You know, missing a ball, leaning over the hole, or the other player gets really lucky.
It depends on who the opponent is and how well they play, because good players can give up huge spots, but what ends up happening is they start giving up huge spots to people that can play. And then, you know, like Dennis Okoye, he'd probably offer me the 6 out, and, you know, I'm probably going to take it. Now, got to play because you're not going to get a lot of chances, but I don't think he can give me that. And it's a whole new ball game when you start giving up huge spots to guys that, are run out players. We're not doing that here in VP, but there is situations where giving up that huge spot can be not so wonderful.
Brain pull out. My question is: were you ever at boiling point tonight? I would have said that at best you were on a gentle simmer, but you certainly weren't boiling. Well, this is nice and straight.
Now think about that, really. So like kind of relate to something like virtual pool. So you're talking like, let's take a player like I don't know, somebody that's rated 2,300, like a Larry, Fantastic Fox, Mr. Bill. So I'm saying there's players that give them the 6 out. And you guys probably don't believe that, but if you play VP as good as the pros, the top pros can play pool in real life, you could give those kind of players the 6 out. Maybe even a guy like semi-pro. You just wouldn't thunk it, but I've seen it.
Oh, is he going to nudge the 7? No, he isn't. He's in trouble.
Yeah, that's not any good.
So, see, here we go. Bobby's got ball in hand for a 2-5 combo here. And, Bobby's not going to run this table to the 5 ball. Simple as that. He's got ball in hand. And
no, the 4 ball's in a bad spot. He should definitely be playing this combo. And he's going to.
And that's the type of situation where 5 and out does backfire on you when you get yourself out of shape and you end up giving ball in hand like this. That's when it backfires. That was nowhere near the line.
Yeah, you think with ball in hand, well, those two he's going to make it, but that wasn't close.
So now Larry's going to is he going to try and get a nudge, or is he going to try and maybe leave himself oh no, he can't even see the 3. What am I talking about? Well, he has got a nudge. Now it's dangerous because it's only the 4 and 5 ball now.
Well, the thing about giving up all this weight is that, you start getting out of line. If it was me, I'd be playing safe here. I'd be putting the 4 ball on the end rail and the cue ball behind the 6. I would have never shot that.
Well, he's got away with it.
I think, strategy-wise in that situation, the safety was pretty easy. And the shot was pretty hard. I think the smart thing to do there is play safe. Because one thing about these guys that are, lower ranked players is they can make a ball. They might be able to make a few balls in a row, but they're not going to be any good at kicking. They're not going to play safe or kick or do those things well. So that's a better player has a huge advantage in a moving game.
Well, Larry's caught the jaw, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could bank this in and then make the 5 and win, but I still like Larry's odds in this game from here. I mean, this is no gimme bank, and he's not going to know where the cue ball's going. I mean, this, these kind of situations is where luck can play in a lot. But the thing you have to realize as a better player is that if you're giving a guy chances at the table, he's going to get lucky eventually. So the best way to stop the luck is stop giving him chances.
So here's one where Larry has to stun this in and get into the cue ball here, and this could hang up in the pocket. This is the danger with this shot.
Yeah, you got to hit this one. You got to hit this one good. If you hit the cheek, it's going to rattle. He looks like he's just going to roll forward on this. Yeah, he tried to go around that way. Wow. Well, the only problem with that would have worked if he would have put some left English on it, but it wasn't going to run.
He's playing the bank.
Yeah.
He's going all out for it.
I'd be playing safe. I'd cut the 6 into the 7 and go put the cue ball behind the 9 ball.
Yep.
I would never shoot this bank shot.
Larry's going helper leather. He's going all the way.
Well, what's worse is he shot the bank shot and didn't get good on the 7.
And now it's going to come up past the side pocket. Is it going to keep going?
He's giving this away.
No, he hasn't. He's okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he's okay. Anything could happen here.
Bobby will maybe scratch the side here on the opposite side if he's not too careful.
We'll see what happens. I mean, you just don't want to give guys this shot because they might make it. This is going to go hill. I can see the way this is going.
There we go. And it goes. Now it's anybody's.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play a little bit more conservative in those situations. I mean,
well, I suppose in that respect, Larry doesn't really. I don't think he's really bothered now. That's why he's going for his shots, because it's pointless. There's no.
That's true. He may not.
There's
give
nothing to play for. Yeah, nothing to play for.
They've already lost, so who cares? Yeah, you're probably right, Hugh. Eight ball runs and highest win percentage. Yeah, I'll put that in along with a penalty pool for the most complaining about their rating.
And most complaining about other people's ratings. Put that in as well.
Sorry, Sam. I just can't help it.
Put in a shit stirrer rating. Well, there, Larry's.
I've got some Scottish in me too.
Well, the quicker you make these pockets easier, the better for Larry, I think.
Well, I mean, they're a little too tough. They're a little too tough right now. I will admit that, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't realize that change was in there. They're a little bit too tough right now.
Well, there you go. Bobby Barris, well, the only numpty thing he'll do here is follow this 5 ball in.
Well, Larry basically lost this game in the last game, or this match in the last game. But like you said, he probably doesn't care.
Right,
it doesn't really matter.
That's that one done. And 9 ball shots win by 6 matches to 3.
Look at the playoffs. They actually look better now.
Let's have a
look at the playoff tab.
Right,
there's still some stuff wrong, but
we've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
It actually drew out the rest of the bracket.
So that's next week then. Thank God for that. I thought we were going to be here the rest of the night.
No, I thought about making it all one day. I was like, nah, let's just stick with because it's too long. It's not till next week. But, one thing that's good to see is that, you've got a team like 9 ball shots that has some, lower handicap players and they're in the finals of the playoffs. And that's the whole idea of the league thing, is that you don't have to be a great player to have a chance, playing on a team, to have a chance to do well.
Right. I've got a question, Steve, and it's better hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. Some of these guys want a Mosconi Cup. Now, I think from what a couple have been saying, they would like the idea of it. What I said is, well, the idea is good in principle, but if you're asking Steve to do it in VP4, then it involves a lot of sort of excess work that's not in the pipeline, that's not in the plans as to what you're doing at the moment.
It's a fair amount of work to do a Moscone Cup.
So here's my question. What if the Moscone Cup was run? See, when we run the Moscone Cup, we've only done it once, and we did it in VP3. And VP3, you had Simon's league system that he had, just the basic league system. But what was done is that a website was created for the league, for the Moscone Cup, and it had all the results and everything there. So that was done in an external website, and other external websites can be used to set up a Moscone Cup. Would you be happy for that to be done? Obviously, the matches are still played in VP4.
Oh. Yeah, that's fine with me.
So,
I mean, I don't have a problem with somebody setting up to run it, because you'd get a lot faster than waiting for me to do it, because it is a lot of work to do.
That's exactly what I was saying. You've got an agenda of what you're doing at the moment. So to ask you to start shoving everything aside just to satisfy any interest in a Moscone Cup is an awful lot of excess work that wasn't planned. So there, it's out there, guys. So if you want one, it's up to whoever's clever enough, and there are clever enough people out there to set something like that up. I know that Albinario had an 8-ball league. Now, Albi had an 8-ball website set up when they had a tournament. I remember that in VP3. So there are people out there who are clever enough to organise stuff like that. So it's up to them. The ball's in their court now. Anyway, so that is where we've got to. We have the end of the playoffs tonight. The disappointing thing, of course, was that one team didn't show, but we've got a lovely bunch of coconuts and 9-ball shots geared up for the final next Saturday at 6 p.m. So everybody should hopefully show. They all showed tonight, so there's no way they're getting to the final and not showing up next week. So good luck to them. And good luck to Cobra and Albinario trying to sort out their match, because that's maybe being a bit of a problem. We'll see how that goes. And unless you have anything else to say, Steve, I'm heading south.
I do not.
So that is it, guys. Thank you for your contribution, Steve. Clearing up a few little things. Semi-Pro still not happy. Good luck to them in the final. Thanks to those that joined us tonight, that showed up, and we will see you again soon. So good night, folks.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
You're way off. I say you're way off this time, son.